Alright, guys, so I'm going to be talking about a comic that was sent to me by my good friend Chris. Chris, thank you once again. And today we're going to be talking about Hulk, Joe Fixit. Or just Joe Fixit, however you want it. So, Joe Fixit, for those who are unaware, is the Gray Hulk. A little bit of side story here. So, basically, the Gray Hulk was the first Hulk, but basically, the Green Hulk won the Persona Wars and took over as the Hulk for a while. In the real world, it was because gray ink wasn't working well on the printer, so Stan Lee was like, fuck it, change it to green. So there's why we have Green and Gray Hulk. Peter David made a big thing in his comics to reimagine the Gray Hulk and make him a gangster in Las Vegas working for a mafia family. Yeah, and it's more or less he's, instead of Banner trying to retain Hulk, keep Hulk out, it's Hulk trying to keep Banner from from taking over. And Marvel has been doing these comics where they're lost stories in eras of runs. And this is one of those. Peter David has been doing a lot of them, obviously with Symbiote Spider-Man, and he also did he's done New Fantastic Four. He's done a lot. And this is one I was really excited because Joe Fixit is my favorite incarnation of the Hulk. So I was very excited to read this. Anyway, so this, like I said, takes place in the time period where Joe is leg breaker for Michael Berenghetti, who is the mafia family in Las Vegas. And this actually takes place after an event where Spider-Man encountered Joe in a fight and is about to leave town when he discovers the Kingpin is rolling in. And I don't mean that as a pun. He's trying to take over, he's trying to branch his criminal organization into Vegas. So Hulk and Spider-Man team up to stop Kingpin from expanding his criminal empire. And that's the comic. That's really the story. It's a 5-issue miniseries, and it should be called Spider-Man Joe Fixit, because really Spider-Man plays kind of almost a bigger role than Joe Fixit in Joe Fixit's own comic. Now, granted, it is Peter David writing Spider-Man, so it's all good. But, there's some points where I'm where I almost forget, oh yeah, this is a Joe Fixit comic. This is supposed to be the comic about the Gray Hulk, and then we have more with sometimes it takes more scenes with Spider-Man. He's actually our main character, and Joe's feels more like a supporting at time. But I will say it even feels like even Peter David realized that and kind of righted the ship halfway through. I think it's mostly because Peter David really likes writing Spider-Man, which I understand. But yeah, so the comic is pretty fun. There's actually a great moment where it flashes back to the quote-unquote first time the Hulk and Bruce Banner ever met, and it's a great moment where they scare off of the Absorbing Man, and Hulk is just like, "Are you going to make Hulk angry?" And he's like, "No, then Hulk not hurt you." Okay. It's a cute scene. There's also some fun stuff. We do have more of the Kingpin's plot, because there's actually a great moment where Fisk tries to fight Fixit because he doesn't know it's the Hulk. And he ends up hurting himself while fighting Fixit, and then he's there's a great moment where Wilson says, "It's only done when I say it's done," and then he tries to punch Joe Fixit, and Joe just goes, "So say it." And he's like, "Oh, you're not? Okay, my turn." And Joe just pile drives Fisk into the ground and makes him say it's over, and then he goes, "Now in French," makes him say it in French, "Now in Pig Latin." But yeah, the comic also has a sudden moment where Count Nefaria and the Magia show up at the Hail Mary hour. It's a 5-issue miniseries, and they try to throw a lot at the end, but I can't say no to a good Hulk fight, because it really does feel at times Peter David in his run really knew how to make a Hulk fight and make it fun. You have Electro, you have Rhino and Electro working for Kingpin, you also have Count Nefaria with Whiplash, and I think the Masked Marauder and Hydro Man working as well. So you have a lot of Spider-Man-esque villains in here too. But it is fun. There is a lot of fun. There's also a very memeable moment, and you've probably seen it online. If you run by some Marvel memes, there's an image which I do have to show you to make sure you believe it. because it literally, you've probably seen it, but you never knew where it was in the comics. Right there. Just that face. You've probably seen that face in some meme circles. But yeah, basically, Peter painted his face to look like his Spider-Man mask after Electro tries to rip his mask off. It's a funny scene, and there's like some great comedy in here too. There's some great back and forth, especially with Peter and Hulk, with Joe. It's really cool. All in all, this is more like if you love the Joe Fixit era of Hulk, you're probably gonna like this. And even if you haven't, it gives you a quick crash course through it, and even gives you the issue where Hulk goes to Vegas, the original Peter David book. But yeah, I would say check this out if you're looking for some Hulk stuff, and you know, it's never too late to read some Peter David Hulk books. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That's my review. Once again, I'd like to thank my good friend Chris for sending me this comic. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.